Okay. Go!
Will you hand me my screen box?
Now go. Preach. Rah.
And you may proceed, Mrs. Scott. Are there any agreements?
No, Judge. Well, I take that back. The only agreement right now is that the child, Taylor, is currently residing with Mr. Elliot. That's it. Right. The state would first ask the court to take judicial notice of the suit for modification of support order and motion to confirm support arrearage that was filed by the state on February 19th, 2025. The state would ask to take judicial notice of those pleadings and all requests therein and attachments thereto.
I take judicial notice of the pleading, suit for modification I mentioned earlier, as well as its attachments, which include the decree of divorce, which had child support set at $1,300 per month. So someone's providing health insurance. It looks like Mr. Elliot was ordered to maintain it. It was signed by the court.
Mr. Elliot alleges that the child has resided with Mr. Elliot since September of 2024, while Ms. Elliot alleges that the child has resided with Mr. Elliot since November of 2024. Mr. Elliot is requesting possession credits for that period of time, while Ms. Elliot does not agree to possession credits, any possession credits for that period of time. Ms. Elliot also does not agree to release any arrears or stop child support, while Mr. Elliot is requesting that his current child support obligation be stopped and
So is this a custody issue?
I do not believe so, but I can take some testimony on that.
I guess why doesn't she agree to possession credits or at stopping it? Does she plan on getting the child back in the near future?
I believe that is the idea.
And so this is a custody issue because he does not believe that. Is that true?
I don't think anyone is asking. There's no pleadings on file, and
Well, I realize that, but the crux of this case comes down to who's going to have this child living with them.
yes, they would call Ms. Elliot. Ms. Elliot, where is your son living now?
He's currently staying with his father, John Elliot,
Why is that?
because he walked out of my house.
All right. And can you tell the court a little bit about what happened when Taylor walked out?
Well, he did it 3 times previous to the last time.
How old is this child? What are we talking about?
16.
How old was Taylor when he first walked out of your home?
16.
Okay. And what month and year was that?
It was the first time or the last time?
The first time.
It was in October of 2024.
All right. And did he come back?
He did.
All right. How long was he gone?
A week.
And where did he go during that week?
He went to stay with John and his friend who they were currently living with.
All right.
Who's
And
John's friend or your son's friend?
John's friend. He was living with a friend.
Okay.
Because he travels.
Okay.
so you mentioned that Taylor has left your home since then. How many times?
A total of 3 times.
And what was the longest time, aside from this last time, then he's been with Mr. Elliot, what was the longest time that your son Taylor was gone?
About a week.
Are you in agreement for Mr. Elliot to not pay you any child support anymore?
No,
Why not?
because according to the way that he finished out this last year in school, I think it's in his best interest to be here at home with me.
And have you made any efforts to get Taylor to come home with you?
I did. Yes, I did talk to him one time before. I believe it was in January or February, telling him that he needed to come home, that he needed to be here. I felt like it's in his best interest because I'm here. I support him. I get him to school. I get him home. Doctor's appointments, dentist appointments. At the time that, he was in swimming and then he dropped out. And I just feel like it's more stable. It's just him and I.
Okay, I'm just going to remind everyone that nothing is on file for me to address where the child lives. Nothing's on file for me to modify where the child lives. So I'll give you a little leeway, Ms. Laskowski, but just be mindful of that I'm not making a custody decision today.
Ms. Elliott, did you give Taylor permission to stay with Mr. Elliot for any length of time?
No.
All right. Why not?
Because he walked out.
Okay. And do you know why he walked out?
He walked out because he said that he was frustrated here. He didn't like the rules, the consequences, the responsibilities. And I don't believe that he had the same responsibilities and consequences at his dad's house.
How long has Taylor lived with or been staying with Mr. Elliot?
I would say November.
Okay. And since November, has he come back to your home for any length of time?
Yes.
Okay. When?
He was here for Thanksgiving.
How long?
Thanksgiving, he was here for the day. And then in December, I reached out to him and asked him to come by for Christmas. He never responded. He came and stayed a few weekends between January and March. We've gone to movies. We've gone to dinner.
And are you in agreement for Mr. Elliot to have possession credits towards his arrears for that time since November?
No.
Why not?
Because I've been maintaining a household for Taylor to come back to. He's had disciplinary actions in school. He's had he failed 2 classes. He's now in summer school. He's had 10 in-school suspensions since October 28th.
What were those in-school suspensions for?
Disciplinary actions, insubordination, tardiness, defiance, truancy. He's had a total of 51 unexcused tardies or absences for the school year last year total. He has ADHD and is supposed to be on medication, which to my knowledge, he is not taking. He has not been to the doctor since November of 2024. He missed his 6-month cleaning for the dentist and still has not been rescheduled.
All right. All right. So you mentioned that you've asked him to come home several times. Have you taken any other actions to get Taylor to come back to the house?
I've discussed it with John that I thought that it was in his best interest to be here. I did not seek, I guess, legal actions because I did not violation of the court orders or to get the police involved to bring him home because I don't want the same event happening and trying to talk to Taylor to find out things that were wrong, were unclear, and he obviously needed that space. So I was trying to give him some of that respect to let him sort things out. And till this day, nothing has been discussed about further detail or what needs to happen for next year so that he can graduate and have a successful high school years.
Has Taylor given any indication that he plans to come back to your house?
Not at this time, though.
What year is he in school?
This was his sophomore year. He still has his junior and senior year left.
So you mentioned that he's in summer school. If he Has he been promoted to a junior yet, or is that contingent on him completing the summer school?
That's contingent on him completing summer school.
Okay. And I guess passing the classes, right? Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, you may call your next witness.
The state would call Mr. Elliot. Mr. Elliot, how long has Taylor lived with you? All
Taylor's been with me since September
right.
of
And
24.
all right. And under what circumstances did Taylor come to live with you?
One weekend during my visitation, Taylor was with us. Yes, I was over at a friend's house that I stayed with at that time, Joey Smalls. And during the visit, we did our weekend visitation and we took him back. A few hours later, the very next day, Taylor showed back up and we had a discussion, and he was told that, from what I was told by Taylor, that he was leaving over there because he was threatened by Kristen's boyfriend, Emmanuel Sukow. I did call Kristen about that, and for word to word, she told me exactly what Taylor told me also, that Taylor was acting like I'm not going to use the word, and that if he didn't start acting straight, he was going to kick I'm not going to cuss. So the threats that happened several times, verbal abuse from him, the communication as far as talking about his brother, because Taylor does have a brother that's 23 and lives here also. Like I said, there was a lot of text message to Taylor stating that basically me and Colby are worthless. And Taylor was tired of it. I have not told him that he could not go back to his mom's. He does get punished over here for acting out. He does not get his phone taken away because when Kristen did have custody, and if I called, she would tell me that he's grounded, that I couldn't talk to him. And I don't want that to ever happen. If he wants to talk to his mom, he is more than capable and able to. If he wants to go and see his mom, he is more than able. In the 9 months that he has been with me since September, I believe 9 months, he's been with Kristen Thanksgiving. He was over there for a total of 5 hours. He did spend one weekend with her. Yes, they did go to one movie and 2 dinners. But in all this time, I have not asked her for any compensation as far as help. And when I have communicated with her, it's pretty much a finger blaming that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. And I have them in text here.
All right. You're saying that Taylor wanted to come live with you due to his confrontations with his mom's boyfriend?
With Kristen and her boyfriend.
Okay. And you said it was verbal abuse. Is there any other reason that Taylor provided for wanting to come live with you?
He did tell me that he was pushed. He was tired of being worked. And
Being
yes,
what?
he did worked.
Okay.
Basically, he felt like he was a slave.
Okay.
That he had to go and cut her yard. He had to cut her boyfriend's yard. He had to do extra work for her boyfriend.
Is Taylor currently receiving care for his ADHD condition?
He has stopped himself on the medicine. We have talked to a doctor. I am working on getting back into therapy with Dr. Hirsch. And I already have a doctor's appointment to try to set up a doctor's appointment, or to try to get him basically with a new doctor, Dr. Casey Buck with the UTMB. That way we can get a primary care physician for him while he's here. As far as dentist appointment on a 6-month cleaning, I was never communicated to about that, or I would have had him there.
Is there a reason that Taylor needs new medical care providers instead of the ones he's previously seen?
He's wanting to go to a different doctor.
Okay.
What's the holdup with starting the new doctor?
I've got the appointment going, and it's like I said, it's been what is it, the June 20, I think it was the 25th or 28th.
So you have a scheduled appointment?
Yes.
Okay. And it's just a matter of getting to that appointment?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that doctor, is that a primary physician? Is it a therapist? Is it a doctor that will
The
prescribe medicine?
the Casey Buck is a regular doctor.
Okay.
And Dr. Hirsch is a family therapist, and I'm wanting him to go to somebody that is a good therapist. And it's hard to get into it. It is extremely hard. But I'm trying to help Taylor by getting him mental help. Not that he's crazy or anything by that, but just somebody to talk to besides me, or talking to his mom. And that has the knowledge to be able to help.
Has Taylor mentioned any plans to return to his mom's house?
No, I actually talked to him the other day, and he's wanting to stay here.
Okay.
Which I wish he was here so he could actually talk to you.
And is that why you're not in agreement to pay or to keep paying Ms. Elliott current child support?
Yes.
All right.
Like I said, I'm covering all his medical expenses. I cover his medical, his dental, and his vision, buying his clothes, buying his food, keeping a roof over his head.
And are you requesting possession credits for the entire period of time you say that Taylor's lived with you?
Yes.
All right. Pass to witness, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you have any other witnesses?
No, Judge.
Okay. The state does not represent either of you. So I'm going to give you both a chance to speak if there's anything additional I need to hear. Ms. Elliott, is there anything additional you think I need to hear?
Yes, I would just like to address that he addressed Emmanuel Sukow as my boyfriend. I do not have a boyfriend. He is a good friend. And as far as him working, Taylor was doing yards and getting paid. It was a job. I even created the flyer. He was making close to $1,000 a month, doing extra jobs for Emmanuel. He went into high school with the trade center doing construction. That is what Emmanuel does. So he was teaching him how different things on the tools and how to use them and how to build things. And as far as working him, he wasn't out there doing anything that I was not out there doing. In the situation that he's referring to, where Taylor and Emmanuel did get into it, that was on a Friday that I picked him up after he came back from his dad's. And he came back and he was already being disrespectful to me. And I had told him repeatedly to get it together. Let's just go do this, because my fence fell down. And so we were putting it back up, trying to teach him, this is how you build it. This is how you level it. And Taylor called me 3 weeks ago crying asking me to pick him up because John's girlfriend, Wendy, and my older son were fighting, and he was scared. He called me. I was getting ready to walk out the door. He called me back and said, "Never mind. Colby and I are going to go take a ride." That's his brother. I said, "Okay." I talk to him on a weekly basis. He has been in the past, he has been around his brother. He's been around John when they've lost their tempers as well. You know, I mean, there's been things that have been said that I think have been very detrimental. His older brother told him to go kill himself at one point, 2 or 3 times actually. So I realize there's a lot going on. My main interest right now is to make sure, because to my knowledge, John works out of town still. He still travels. So I understand there's other people there, but Taylor needs medication. I don't know why it's taken 9 months for him to go to find a new doctor or to get him on his medication. He needs someone to make sure he's there at school. He needs someone who's going to answer the phone when the school calls and follow up on disciplinary actions. Someone who's going to teach him the responsibilities to be a good man. He graduates in 2 years and he is so unprepared for the future.
Thank you. Mr. Elliott, is there anything additional you think I need to hear?
Yes, ma'am. As far as the argument, I don't know about the phone call. Yes, my girlfriend and my son did get into an argument. Was it a heated? No. Yes, I do travel, or I used to be an over-the-road truck driver. 98% of my jobs are now into Corpus Christi, right back, Sulphur, right back into Louisiana. Yes, I used to go over into other states, all over like Wyoming and stuff. Very seldom do I do that. And when I do, I have my mother come down and take care of what's going on. But Taylor has never not been picked up. He is always to school on time, either by myself, my son, or my mom, or my girlfriend. He's got a stable household. I've been doing woodworking for over pretty much all my life. My dad taught me, and that's what I've been doing with my son. He's got several projects out here on the patio that he has built, and I am trying my damnedest to do everything I can for him. And as far as taking 9 months to get in a doctor's appointment, it hasn't. We just started this process a few weeks ago to get him into the doctor's appointment. I'm looking at a piece of paper at the dates to try to get him in. He was saying that he wants to go to a different doctor. I'm doing what my son is asking me to do. Does he get punished? Yes, he does. But I'm also going to treat him like an adult because he's 16, fixing to turn 17. I'm not going to go to the school and hold his hand and make sure that he gets to class because he's 2 minutes late. I can't do that. That's it. And that's what a 17-year-old does for himself, 16-year-old does for himself. But even before Christmas, we all went to a school meeting. And yes, Taylor had over 40 days of missed school. And it wasn't missed. It was being tardied to a particular class, which was 5th period. And like I said, the school was supposed to be signing a contract and never did. I tried getting a hold of Miss Spencer over a dozen times. We finally got a hold of her when it was almost 2 weeks before school ended. But yes, Taylor is in summer school. And I think at the end of last week, he was 30% done with his projects to be able to be out of summer school.
And Ms. Laskowski, do you have anything further?
No, Judge.
What are you asking me to do with the arrears?
The state would ask the court to take a judgment on.
I have no testimony to do that.
State would ask to for the court to modify Mr. Elliott's current child support and medical support based on the testimony that the child is currently residing with Mr. Elliott, and award possession credits based on the same.
So you're asking for possession credits, but not a judgment? Okay, I'm going to order a temporary order in this case. I'm going to wait and defer on a judgment until evidence is presented next time on that. I am going to temporarily modify Mr. Elliott's child support to 0, beginning July 1st of 2025. I'm not modifying medical support. I have no testimony to do that. I'm ordering a parenting class for both parties. This is the 306, so you can attach the 306 list that they have online for that. And I'm going to reset to after the new school year begins and see where the child is at that time. I have grave concerns. A lot of my concerns are not actually before me. Concerned about the ADHD, concerned about school, and concerned about whether this child has a 504 or an IEP. But a lot of these things are out of my hands. But let's reset September 8th, the final trial. And this will give you all a chance to work through some of the issues, hopefully get counseling started up, possibly consult lawyers if you think you need to, and we can go from there and see where things are in September.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
You have got to be kidding me. What is going on today? This is a joke. Today is an absolute an interpreter.
I need an interpreter when I cannot express myself somewhere.
Oh my God, sir, put that cigarette out. I don't give a crap that you are outside of this. What is wrong with everybody today? You know what, Miss Reed, we're going to start bringing people in person. We're going to learn how to act in a courtroom.
Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Ma'am? Ma'am? Can you hear it? Okay.
Come and go so
No taste. Trust me, after today, I'm sitting up here, I'm the one that needs a drink.